Hello students, welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, we will learn lesson 5, that is adaptation in plant. Now in previous presentation, we have learned about adaptation in animals. So today we will learn adaptation in plants. So the content parts are need for adaptation in plants, adaptation of plants on land, in water, in desert, adaptation of plants in hilly areas, in marshy areas, in damp areas, adaptation of plants to trap insects. Now, need for adaptation in plants. Now, plants develop certain features which enable them to survive successfully in a particular environment. Now, such features are called adaptive features. Plants grow on hills and mountains, in desert, in coastal area, floating in water, on ocean beds, and in river valley. Plants grow almost everywhere on the earth. Now they live in a variety of habitats. Now in the upper one you see we have in the sentences given plant grow in hills, desert, in water, in ocean. So there are many habitats of the plant. Now we know that habitat is actually the home, means a place where they live are known as habitat. They are well suited to their natural environment. Now, if we remove them from their natural habitat, they will not survive, means they will die. To understand this statement, here two examples are given. Now, if a lotus plant is kept out of water for few days, now here lotus is there. Now, what is a natural habitat for water? Lotus, sorry. So, the natural habitat for lotus is water. So, if we will keep lotus out from water, it will die. Okay. Now, second is a cactus which lives in desert. So, the habitat of cactus plant is desert. So, if we will keep cactus in water, what will happen? The habitat will change. Okay. The environment will change and the cactus plant will die. So that's why they are well suited to their natural environment. So if we remove from their natural habitat, they will die. Next is adaptation of plants on land. Plants that grow on land are called terrestrial plants. Now following are the major adaptation in plants to survive on land. One of the adaptation is waxy cuticle. Now a waxy layer cover the leaves. Now you see the leaf image is given. Okay, what is happening when the water droplet is falling on the leaves? Okay, it's not settling. It's not settling on the water, it falls down. Why? Because of the waxy layer. Now why this waxy layer is present? To reduce the rate of evaporation. Now what is evaporation? When the water heat up, it's evaporate. Okay, means it changes into water vapor and it rises up and goes to the environment and make cloud. Okay, so what evaporation is loss of water. Okay, so from plant also water loss is there. From where the water loss will be there? From the leaves, from the stem. Okay, water evaporate in the form of water vapor. So this waxy layer prevent less rate of evaporation and allowing the plant to retain more water, means more water then is left in the plant. Stomata, a waxy layer over the leaves from the upper side. Stomata are present on the underside of the leaves. Upper side waxy cuticle is present. Lower side of the leaf means leaf के नीचे वाले part में what is present? Stomata is present. What is stomata? It is a small hole. Now you see in the image, it's closing, the hole is closing again it will open. So this opening is called stomata. Okay, are present on the underside. It is not present on the upper side of the leaves. It is present on the underside of the leaves. See, in the image it's opening. Now when this stomata opens, it let carbon dioxide in and oxygen out. Now as we know that leaves make food for the plant. Okay, so while making means food means photosynthesis, they need carbon dioxide. So from where the carbon dioxide will enter in the plant? From the leaves. From where in the leaves? From the hole. Which hole? From the stomata, which is present on the lower side of the leaves, means the underside of the leaves. So it take carbon, as it opens, it take carbon dioxide in. After photosynthesis, it gives out oxygen out. See, again it's open. When it's open, carbon dioxide, the leaves take carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, okay, and gives out oxygen. Tissue for moving water and nutrients. Now plant developed xylem and phloem to move water and nutrients. Now as you see down in the image, okay, with the help of root, now we water the soil, we give water to the soil, okay. From the soil, the root absorb the water and minerals. Okay. Now who will take this water and minerals to the other part of the plant? The xylem will give. Now you see in the arrow mark it is given water. Okay. It takes minerals also. So with the help of xylem, water and minerals are transported to different parts of the plant. Now you see the right side, it is arrow mark is showing green food. Now food, where it is made? We know that in the leaves food is made. Now every part of the plants need food. Now who will transport this food? The phloem. Okay, the phloem will transport food from the leaves to the different parts of the plant. So xylem will give water and minerals to different parts of the plant, and phloem will bring food from the leaves to different parts of the plant. Woody tissues. Now woody tissues provide support plants to grow taller and stand erect. Okay, now you see in the image the woody tissue, what we call bark, is present. Okay, brown color structure, it is woody tissue which protect the plant and it help to plant to stand erect, straight, means gives support. True root. Root absorb water and minerals from soil. Now down where xylem and phloem it is given downside. Now who will absorb the water and minerals from the soil? The root will absorb. Okay. So root also anchors the plant. Reproductions. Now land plants develop pollens that wind, insect, animals can disperse, and plants have fruits and seeds. The seeds then grow as new plants. Means we know that from the seed new plants will be grown. That is known as reproductions. Okay. So reproduction will take place from the seed. As you see in the image, from the seed the new plants is germinating. The plant will grow big. So this is known as a reproduction. Now plants in plains. Plants that live in plains are called mesophytes. They have plenty of branches and leaves. As you see in the image, so many branches are present and so many leaves are there. So the plant which live on the land, means plains, are called mesophyte. They shed most of their leaves in autumn. Shed means jhadna. Okay, even you see in the autumn season, पतझड़ के मौसम में पत्ता गिरता है, that is known as shed. So they shed most of their leaves in autumn season. Mango, banyan, sesame, neem, peepal and sal are common trees in plain. Now you see in the image, peepal plant is there, right side. This is peepal plant. In plains, plants are varied. Trees have lots of branches. They can bear the heat of summer. See, lots of downs, lots of branches, a huge tree is there. Plant of grass family. Now, plant of grass family are important to us in many ways. Dried grass is used as packing materials. So any material is packed, so you see the down or inside it grass, dried grass is put, okay, so that it will not get damaged. So that is actually the dried grass. The root of plants of grass family help to conserve soil, means it help in soil erosion, because the root tightly means firmly is attached to the soil, which is not washed away by the wind or blown away by the water. That is known as soil erosion. So the root of the plants of grass family help in soil erosion, means conserving soil. Many different kinds of grass eating animals live on grasses, means the grazing animals like cow, goat, they graze na grass, means they eat grass, so they are dependent on the grasses. Now all of us probably eat grass every day. Now we also eat grass every day. How? Actually, when we think of grass, we usually think of grass in lawns and field. Now you see in the image, it is given in the lawn, grass is there. So whenever the grass word is used, our mind automatically go to the grass in the lawn. You see in the ground the grass is there, okay. But the cereals that we eat, such as wheat, now wheat chapati we are eating daily, rice also we are eating daily, okay, maize, barley, jowar, bajra, all belong to grass family. They are actually from the grass family. As we are having family na, uncle, aunt, brother, sister, grandmother, grandfather, we all are in one family. So like that also, wheat, rice, maize, barley, etc., all are coming in grass family only. So we are eating grass daily. Without cereals, grains, we cannot have bread, breakfast. In breakfast also we have, okay, cereals, cake or popcorn, okay, the maize, the favorite popcorn, that is also coming from the grass family. Now you see in the image up one, wheat it is there, so wheat is also coming from grass family. Now paper was first made from grass, called papyrus in Egypt. Various kind of grasses are now used to make different types of paper. Some plants of the grass family are used in preparing medicines. So from grass, medicines is also made. Now grass beautifies the landscape. Now you see in the lawn area, grass is present, so it looks beautiful. It forms an attractive surface of lawn, park and playground. In the playground also, in our school also, in the playground you see grass is there. Sugarcane and bamboo, two belong to grass family. Even sugarcane, ketari, and the bamboo, बांस जिसको बोलते हैं, they are also belonging to grass family, but they are long in size. They are called giant grass. We get sugar from sugarcane. The sugar which we have, we get from sugarcane. Now bamboo is used for making things like chair, baskets, mat, curtains, toys, huts and brooms. Bamboo shoots are eaten because of their high nutritional value. Now the bamboo shoot is rich in vitamins, cellulose and amino acids. Okay, that's why in northeast area many tasty dishes are made from bamboo shoot. Types of aquatic plants. Aquatic plants are called hydrophytes. There are three types of hydrophytes. Free floating plants. Some water plants float freely on water surface. They are not attached to water, means they are floating on the water surface. That's why the name is given free floating. Plants float because they are either light, in weight, that's why they float, or with spongy and air filled path, or are small in size. Now examples are the water hyacinth, duckweed, which is known as lemnine common, wolffia and pistia. Okay, one of the example is given here. Now the next is rooted and free floating plants. Now in some aquatic plants like lotus, now all of you have seen lotus, water lily, as you see in the image, water lily and lotus is there. Trapa, water chestnut, the roots are fixed in the mud. Now in free floating, the plant float freely, but in rooted and free floating plant, the root are fixed in mud and the leaves with their long petioles remain floating. Okay, so the leaves remain floating but the root are fixed to the mud. In such plants, leaves are broad and petioles are hollow. Now you see in the image, the lotus, the leaf is broad. Broad means chauda. Okay. And the petioles to which the flower is attached, that is known as petiole. Long it is and hollow. And light to keep the leaves and flower afloat. The broad leaves provide a nesting place for some small birds. Okay. So some small birds live there on the broad leaves. The next is rooted and underground, means underwater plants. Now some aquatic plants like hydrilla, pondweed and tape grass remain underwater, means they are present inside and are rooted in the soil. These plants have narrow leaves, means the leaves are very small. That's why narrow is there. And have no stomata. Now, stomata, as we know, the opening on the leaves, the underside of the leaves is known as, the opening is known as, the pore is known as stomata. So, here no stomata is present. They breathe through their body surface. Underwater plants clean the water by removing carbon dioxide. So these plants help in removing carbon dioxide. Like this, they clean water. So they are grown in aquarium. We keep an aquarium in our house. So we keep the hydrilla plant in our aquarium because they clean the water. Adaptation of plants in water. Now the main adaptation in aquatic plants are for, why they show adaptation? For gaseous exchange with environment and sunlight for the process of photosynthesis. As we know, plants prepare their own food with the help of photosynthesis. So they show adaptation for this two reasons. Number one is gaseous exchange. Oxygen level are naturally lower in water, and even though plant produce their own oxygen through photosynthesis. Okay, when photosynthesis take place, the plant give oxygen, okay, and they take carbon dioxide. Thus even if there is low oxygen content underwater, aquatic plants are able to ship in oxygen from the atmosphere, means they take oxygen from the atmosphere. In order to photosynthesis, plants need carbon dioxide. Now we know that in photosynthesis, plant will need carbon dioxide. In water, carbon dioxide diffuses 10,000 times slower. Okay, it diffuses 10,000 times slower, creating a challenge for aquatic plants. Now fully submerged aquatic plants, fully submerged means the plant which is inside the water, okay, have developed an unique adaptation. What adaptation? Around this place, using bicarbonate instead of carbon dioxide. So the plant which is underwater, they use bicarbonate, they do not use carbon dioxide. Bicarbonate is a common molecule in both sea water and fresh water. The molecules can be broken down to release carbon dioxide. Okay, so bicarbonate is present both in sea water and fresh water. As in water, the carbon dioxide is diffusing 10,000 times slower. That's why they use bicarbonate. That bicarbonate is broken down into carbon dioxide by the enzymes on the surface of or inside the plant tissue. So with the help of enzymes, bicarbonate is broken down and release carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide they use for photosynthesis. So providing a source of carbon dioxide when the gas itself is scarce. So they use bicarbonate. Next is the sunlight. Now we know sunlight is also very essential for photosynthesis. As you see in the image, it is described with the help of sunlight, light energy. They take carbon dioxide from the leaves. Okay, with the help of stomata opens. You see aroma, carbon dioxide. They take carbon dioxide. Photosynthesis occur in leaf and they produce glucose and they give oxygen, and they take water and minerals from the root present in the soil. With the help of root they take water and minerals. This whole is showing the photosynthesis. So next challenge is the sunlight. Plant needs sunlight to do photosynthesis. Water slow down the speed of sunlight and block it from reaching aquatic plants. Now we know that aquatic plants is present in the water, and water will slow down the sunlight. It blocks the sunlight. Plants start by making more of molecules that capture sunlight, that is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is concentrated inside plant cell in chloroplast. Now we see the leaf color is green, okay, because of the pigment chlorophyll. Okay, so who will capture the sunlight and help in photosynthesis? The chlorophyll will capture the sunlight, and the leaf is green in color because of the pigment of chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is present inside the chloroplast, which is a plant cell. Now aquatic plant make sure the chlorophyll loaded chloroplasts are near the surface of the leaves. So they will see whether the chloroplast is near the surface of the leaf, where they can easily assess the sunlight. So wherever the chloroplast will be there, means chlorophyll will be there. What is the function? They will capture the sunlight, okay, and help in photosynthesis. So the leaves which are near, they will capture the sunlight. With limited sunlight, aquatic plants have to make most of their leaves. Like this, it helps. Adaptation of plants in deserts. Now desert has extreme climate, very hot summer and very cold winter. Rainfall is very little, hence water is scarce in desert, means very less in desert. Plants that live in desert are called xerophytes. The prickly pear and cactus are the common desert plants. To save water, because water is very less, they have to save. Okay, like how we have studied in adaptation in animal, camel was saving water in the hump. Okay, like that also plant is also have to save water. Desert plants have the following features. Number one, they have long root that grow deep into the soil. Now you see in the image, the plant is having long root which is deep under the soil, okay, to get the underground water. Number two, most plants grow without leaves. Here leaves are not present, because if leaves will be there, the evaporation will be more, loss of water will be more. So that's why the leaf is not present. Instead of leaf, it is modified into spines. Now you see in the cactus, spine. This is cut spine. Actually in Hindi we call kata type. Okay, actually the leaves is only modified into spine or thorn to avoid loss of water. Number third is the stem become thick and fleshy. They store food and water. Now you see here the stem, the cut part of the stem of the cactus is shown. Okay, the stem part, it is thick and fleshy to store water and food. Number fourth is the stem contain chlorophyll. Now you see the down one right side image, the cactus plant stem is green. Why it is green? Because it contains chlorophyll, okay, and make food. So chlorophyll help in, the stem contain chlorophyll and help in making food. Adaptation of plants in hilly areas. Number 1, in hilly areas the climate is cold to very cold. There are frequent rain and also snowfall in some area. Tree growing in such area are tall and straight. You see in the image, the tree is straight and tall and the leaves are needle-like. Down you see, the leaves are needle-like structure. Third adaptive feature, instead of flower, they bear cones. Now you see the right side image. This is the cone. Flower type structure. It is not flower. Actually, it is called a cone. That's why the plant is known as coniferous. The conical shape of the tree is able to tolerate. Down you see the cone type structure of the trees there. That's why the shape is named as conical shape. Why it is conical shape? Help to tolerate strong wind and snowfall. The common trees on hills and mountains are fir, pine, cedar, oak, deodar and spruce. Now the spruce trees are found in very cold places. Sixth is the tree remain green throughout the year. Okay, that's why they are called evergreen trees. Means the leaves are not shed off. That's why they are known as evergreen trees, because the leaves are present. Adaptation in plant in marshy areas. Marshy areas are found along sea coast. Okay, that is known as the marshy areas that are flooded with salty sea water. So the area which is flooded with water, salty sea water, is known as marshy area. The trees that grow in marshy area are called mangroves. Due to water logging, means every time water is present, that's why the root do not get air for breathing. Okay, because water is present. So root come out of the soil. As you see in both of the images, the root are coming out of the soil. Now such root are called breathing root. Okay, why they are coming out? For the breathing. That's why they are called breathing root. They have holes in them. In the root they have holes. With the help of that holes, they breathe in air. In marshy areas, the soil is sticky and clayey. Adaptation of plant in damp areas. Coconut, palm grow well in the coastal areas because they can survive in salty water. The water which contain more amount of salt is known as salty water and prefer areas of heavy rainfall. In such area, tree have lots of leaves. Now you see in the image, the coconut and the palm trees having lots of leaves, and they do not shed their leaves in winter. In winter season, they do not shed their leaves. Some other plant in such area are pepper, rubber, rice, cotton and sugarcane. Rainforest. Now from the name only, rainforest. Rain is there. So rainforests are hot and wet forest found mostly near the equator. The center of the earth is known as the equator. In rainforest there are both tall and small trees. Climbers, ferns and fungi are present. Now wide variety of animals are also found in rainforest. Adaptation of plant to trap insects. Insectivorous plant. So the plant which trap insect is known as insectivorous plant. Most plant get their nitrate, a salt requirement from the ground. Okay. So as we need nutrients, the plants also need the nutrients in the form here in the form of nitrate, means it's a kind of salt. Now but in marshy and swampy places there is not much nitrate, means the salt which they need for the survival are very less. So the plant trap and digest insect. So what they do, they digest insect to get salt they need. Okay, as the insect contain nitrates in their body. So what they do, they trap and digest the salt present in the insect. Such plant are called insectivorous plant. As they feed on insect, that's why the name is insectivorous. Number 1 is Venus flytrap. In down you see, in this the leaves work as trap. In the center of each half of the leaf there are sensitive hairs. Okay, you see the leaf closes, opens. As the insect is it, the leaves closes. The leaf closes immediately when the sensory hair are touched by the flies. So as the flies sit, the leaves closes automatically, the insect die. Okay, and what the plant absorb all the nitrates present in the insect. Next is a pitcher plant. Now in this the end of the petiole is modified into pitcher. Now you see in the image, pitcher means matka type. Okay, as you see the butterfly is sitting. The lid of the pitcher is formed by lamina. Okay, you see the lid means dhakkan. Lid means opening, dhakkan type. So as the butterfly will sit, the lid will close. Because of the presence of downwards pointing smooth hair, insects slip down and are trapped in the pitcher. The digestive juice secreted in the pitcher slowly digest the insect. Sundew plants. In this there are sticky hairs on the leaves. Now you see here the sticky hairs is present in the leaves. This hair trap insect and cover them. As it is sticky, the insect will stick. Chipak jata hai. Sticky means chipakna. Okay. So they stick and the hair trap insect and cover them with digestive. Now you see here it's rolling the insect and they digest with the help of digestive fluid. So the hairs trap insect and cover them with digestive fluid. Like this they survive. Thank you for watching my presentation.